Hey guys, this is Foolish Mortal 42 doing some more post commentary because when I originally recorded this, it was about a week and a half ago, and I realized that my mic was turned off. So anyway, I'm just kind of showing off my robe of power that I had made previously, and the Dreamweave vest that I upgraded it to. You can make that at, well, you can actually make it as soon as you get the proper tailoring skill, but you can only wear it when you hit level 40. It's spirit, intellect, and damage and healing, which is really good. Slightly better than the robe of power. And of course, it's a part of the Dreamweave set. Those gloves were a really good upgrade. I had been using some black mage weave gloves, which only had damage and healing and not quite as much. So this episode is actually going to be a farming episode. I'm going to show you where to get the materials to make the Dreamweave set. Wildvine, Heart of the Wild, and Mage Weave is what we're going to be needing most of. It actually doesn't take a whole lot of Mage Weave, and the Wildvine, I thought when I first started that I was really going to have trouble getting it, but after a little bit of research I realized that it actually isn't that hard to come by. The next piece that I'll be getting is the Dreamweave hat, which is intellect, spirit, and damage and healing as well. That's really the only one that you have to work at getting stuff. You have to have a piece of jade and a true silver bar, which almost always you can find those in the auction house. And if I had been planning ahead a little bit better, I would have gotten, actually I had gotten a piece of jade and true silver from a chest in some of my past episodes, and now I was kicking myself for not keeping that. So I'm just kind of going over these Hearts of Zeal and Test of Lore, which we still have not actually completed because I've actually been out of town. If you notice that it's been a little while since I've uploaded a video. So I'm going to show you guys the best place to farm at this level anyway for Wildvine. They drop from any troll that's level, I'm going to say like 35 and up. The absolute best place to get it, of course, is from Purple Lotus, which is an herb. Of course, we're not an herbalist, but when you harvest Purple Lotus, it will drop about a 10% chance drop. Also, you'll get a Wildvine out of that, but it actually can drop off of these trolls, and the ones that we're going to be going to kill, they drop those not real frequently, probably 1 in 10 to 1 in 15. So you can come down here, depending on your gear, about level 36. Of course, there's a ton of quests that you can do in Stranglethorn Vale, and we're actually going to be working on a couple of those as we do this farm. So we're just going to hike out. Of course, if you've got your mount, this is a little bit easier. Of course, in my haste to get the materials for scaling up my tailoring, I went through all of the money that we had made from selling that really nice sword, and now we're almost in the hole again. But it's not a long walk out. I think I had mentioned in the video, or at least in my recollection, that Wildvine sells pretty good, so it's a good farming spot. It's actually not true. Wildvine and Heart of the Wild both sell pretty quickly for about 30 silver each. It's not really great money. I mean, you could, if you had a large amount of them, like if you were an herbalist and you had gathered quite a few, it conceivably could. Yeah, that was a good crit there. I'm really starting to do quite a bit of damage. I've done a couple of Ultimate runs with the guild, and the next episode that I record, I'll kind of go over some things that we got out of there. So these guys are level 40. Well, they're 39 to like 43, 44. They're not too tough. The thing with the warriors is they have a shield bash. So if you're doing a concentration spell or a focus spell, anything with a casting time, they can shield bash it and lock you out of all of those. So you kind of have to trick them into doing that shield bash and timing that. But I think I do mention that this is actually still a good place. You'll get some mage weave from these guys, which isn't too bad. Usually you get like 1 to 2 pieces of mage weave from these guys. They don't drop it real often. Mostly it's silk, but they'll drop 3 to 4 pieces of silk per kill, or per drop whenever they do drop it. So now you just basically sit down and start killing these guys. To see there was a shield bash. I was trying to cast Mind Flay, and he shield bashed me out of all of my shadow spells. It's all his abilities are also on a timer, so if you can kind of trick him into doing that shield bash when you're not actually casting, some of your instant cast spells. See, that was a good one. So it's, I think I had pointed out that I was still making some silk items to skill up my enchanting, because I've gotten to 220, and the next trainer is actually inside Uldaman, and you need quite a bit of vision dust to get enough skill up to get all of her enchanting recipes off of her. And then the rest of them are basically world drops, or I think that there's actually some quests. I think there might be 1 or 2 quests that you can get some enchanting things, some high level enchanting things. But pretty much anything that's white you want to, So we're almost to 30 points in shadow. I think in my actual play that I've got now, I've just put that last point in improved spell damage, or shadow spell damage. So the next time I level up, I'll actually get shadow form. This is kind of a, not necessarily a scary place, but I have been killed several times down here. I'm a bit, not underleveled, but everything runs down here. and there's a lot of patrols. So I've gotten mobbed several times. So these guys, the Skull Splitter Hunters, you always want to kill the hunter first, because if you kill the cat first, he'll resummon it, and then you'll have to chew through both of those again. And that troll sweat, it's a vendor item. Doesn't really sell for a lot, but it does stack. So not sure why I jump cut there. I can't remember what. Maybe I had a phone call. I'm not for sure. There you go. So, split bone necklace, that's a quest item. For a pretty long quest that's down here, or a series of quests. Of course, I just didn't want to do Stranglethorn Vale that much, but I ended up coming here anyway, much to my consternation. But you can actually arrive in Stranglethorn Vale, I want to say early 20s, and start doing the quest in the northern part, or maybe it's like early 30s, late 20s, early 30s, and start doing the hunting quest for Nessingwary, which, you know, they've got some good rewards, but it's just very time consuming. So this, I think this ends up being kind of like my go-to hunting spot, because there's four, yeah, that was a bad, there's four guys right here. They usually don't aggro on from each other when you're fighting them, as long as you can keep them from running. So I think my plan was to just kill these guys until I got a wild vine, and it seemed like it took me a while. These axe throwers, they're just basically ranged attackers. Those guys, when they start running, they can run and grab some ads really, really easily. learning how to kind of plan. Yeah, see those Beastmasters. So the Beastmasters and the Hunters are very similar in that they have pets that they'll sick on you, but the Beastmasters are ranged attackers, so it's hard to get them to kind of avoid getting aggro or ads with those guys. I want to say maybe this guy will show you like resummoning the pet. Remember if he does, yeah, see. So if you don't kill the main guy there, the hunter or the Beastmasters, then they'll just resummon a pet. But this just shows you the absolute unkillability of a Shadow Priest, really. I mean, as long as we've got a little bit of mana, and it doesn't take very much, we can pop a shield, do a vampiric embrace, and then just, you know, just kind of slowly heal as we slowly kill stuff. It's a really good class. Of course, when we get Shadow form, we won't have the ability to hit renew there, which kind of has saved my butt several times. So I'd say when I get into Shadow form, there we go. I jump cut to a drop. I think it had taken me not too awful long.
I can't carry anymore.
So we need, I think we need a total of 10 of those, maybe a few more. I can't remember if I actually went over that. Yeah, I think I had decided to finish farming those split bow necklaces, and then but we head back shortly, I know, to do our second farming spot. Yeah, so you need to go up to, no, that was the wrong way. Swamp of Sorrows, which isn't too far. You can actually just hike up there and pick up the Stonard flight point. Yep. So we're back here in Gromgal. We're going to turn that quest in, I think. And I'd gotten, just from doing that quest, I'd gotten several wild vines. A nice pair of shoes. Like I said, if we hadn't been using those spider silk boots, that would definitely be an upgrade.
See ya later. Strength and honor.
Yeah, actually farming grace is actually not a bad idea sometimes. Actually killing level 42 to 44 turtles in Tanaris is actually a really, really good way to make money. So there's a lot of quests down here in Gromgal to kill those trolls. So you can always double task. I can't remember what I was thinking going here. Maybe I wanted to buy some water.
Troll hole.
Oh, for some reason I was thinking the flight point was up here, but it's not. Stonard is not that far of a flight. You actually, I think I'd actually went over, or maybe I go over it here. Yeah, you go up through Duskwood, and then you just basically want to stay south of the road. That little intersection there with the little camp sign, there's some NPCs there that are lights and they will kill you. But just kind of hugging the south side of that road, usually you can get past all of that and then head over into Deadwind Pass, which Karazhan is down there, but you can't go in yet. But just go along that top road. And you shouldn't aggro anything. I don't think there's anything up there. But there's ogres down there on the southern end. And they are very high level. And I think back in original vanilla, me and the partner that I played with a lot ended up going down there to get like our last level or so. Because those guys dropped a lot of really good vendor loot, like gray max level swords that are, I think you sell for like $1.50 a piece. So if you're working on getting your level 60 mount, that's a good place to go for them. So. But they are tough. I mean, I wouldn't do it solo unless you had a really good gear. Which hopefully we will eventually have pretty good gear. I'm just kind of struggling right now because of my work and stuff. So alright, here we are in Stonard. And we're just basically going to be walking along these waterways, fighting some elementals. So these guys are also right around level 40. Yeah, these swamp walkers, they're 39. There's a named mob in there, but it's not a rare spawn, so I think I just let them go. So these guys drop cash, which isn't bad. But there's several, they're easily spread out. They're not super dense, so you don't have to worry about ads, or at least ads from these guys. Those crocodiles, they will get you. Or crocolisks, I should say. So these lost ones that we keep seeing, those are the fallen Draenei that came through the portal in the original Warcraft. Well, they were kind of retconned in. They are from Draenor. I know the Alliance has a quest series from them that they can go over and talk to the Fallen. And of course, we're right next to Sunken Temple, the Temple of Atal-Akar, the Blood God. Which is a really interesting dungeon. It's very difficult. I think it starts around like maybe there was a Heart of the Wild, so not too hard to get those. So we killed 4 and got one there. So. We don't need a whole lot of them. I think the Tangled Horrors have a slightly better drop rate, so you want to kind of go up to the north part up here. I'm not for sure what I was yammering on about. I'm sure it was nothing important. So I end up heading back to Undercity. I think I'm going to show the turn-in for the Hearts of Zeal quest, which I had actually let turn gray like an idiot. So we don't get quite as much of a reward out of it as I wanted. So I picked up a piece of jade and a true silver bar, but you guys can't see that. That's in my bank slot. I need to move that bank slot. I keep forgetting to do that. So you guys can see what I've got in there. A lot of my older enchanting materials that I can't skill up for anymore, I've been throwing those in the auction house to try and make some money, which I've had mixed results. So yeah, Hearts of Zeal I had leveled up accidentally, and it turned gray on us. And I've been struggling. Presently I've got a lot of elite quests, and I've just my playtime is so limited. I've not really been able to get a group together to go do that. Some elites, if they're my level or maybe a level or two higher, I can solo if they are single pull mobs. But if I get any kind of ad, there's just no way to do it.
What is it?
I want to say maybe I skip Holy Fire. Yeah. My upgraded Shadow Word Pain was very nice. So instead of doing 71 to 80 with a full buff, now I'm doing like a 1 teens.
Beware, our enemies abound.
So Power Word Shield, it kind of starts tapering off a little bit. But Shadow Word Pain, yeah. 680 up from 488, so yeah, it's a significant improvement. And of course, with every upgrade of that has spell power, damage and healing to spells, that is. That will add just a few points to that because it's a damage over time, but you know, it adds up, so you definitely want to get as much of that as you can, but not at the cost of spirit, because spirit is still a very important stat for us, even as a Shadow Priest, which is kind of why I switched from the Robe of Power to the Dreamweave Vest. It's got more more spirit. And of course there is a talent point, or a talent in the discipline tree that will actually give you damage and healing per point of spirit, which is actually really good. I don't think I'm going to be able to get that. I don't think I've got enough points to get that far down in that tree. So I'm wondering if the flat damage and healing that you get from the shadow tree is more effective or less effective than going deep into discipline and trying to do like holy damage to do. I don't know. I'll have to experiment with that sometime. But with Shadow Priest, you get Mind Flay and a lot of other utility spells. So I think this is just like a little side quest. I can't remember if it goes anywhere though. But I think that is the end of that episode. And as always, I hope you guys enjoy the content. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.